Hello there, many thanks for joining us on Aso Morning. Some of you are taking this day off to remember and mourn our former president who, like we had established yesterday, we all send our condolences to the family. But welcome to Aso Radio and Television, and thank you so much for joining Aso Morning. As usual, I am here to ensure that you know what's going on around the world, make informed decisions, and be better for it. As usual here on the show, we'll start with a newspaper review segment. Today we'll be looking at stories that made front page, and after that we would go have that interview segment with my guest this morning. We'll discuss a bit about investment. Nigerians have been making the worst mistakes, have been in the news for the wrong reasons when it comes to investment platforms that offer them pyramid schemes. But how can you spot those schemes? How can you ensure that you are not falling prey to some of these schemes that come your way and sounding juicy? That's the conversation we'll be having. Don't forget that after that we'll have a discussion with the, or rather we'll go join the agriculture for today and tomorrow segment, where we look at updates around the agriculture segment, how you too can join this drive to ensure food security in our nation. That'll be it for Aso Morning. We're going for a very short break to return with the newspapers. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
We are a nation blessed with people of diverse cultures, religions, languages, and opinions. It is ironic that we are now being ripped apart by our greatest strength, our diversity. We have allowed intolerance, insensitivity, bigotry, and nepotism to blind our vision of the greatness we can achieve working together as one. We may not have the same culture, nor religion, nor language, but we all belong to the same nation by the divine will of God. We did not choose to be Nigerians. Nigeria chose us. This nation is our divine heritage, and if we open our eyes, we would realize that what divides us pales in comparison to what unites us. And by the comparison and conciliation of our differences, we will grow until our differences disappear. Our unity cannot be willed by mere declarations, nor do we get unity by ignoring the questions that beg for answers. We must celebrate our diversity and debate our differences without fracturing our unity. 127, Free TV, Channel 507, People's TV.
Welcome back from that very short break. It's time for the newspaper review segment. And to do justice to the newspapers, and during that conversation, I promise, is Uche Ibiadotam. Did I get it right? You see, I try. He's a senior investment analyst and team lead Channels ARM Investment Managers Limited. Thank you so much for being part of the program.
Thank you, Joy, for bringing me here.
Oh, the pleasure is all mine.
Such a delight.
Oh, thank you. You're making me blush on air. We'll discuss how a delight I am afterwards, but let's go straight to the papers. I will be jump-starting this segment with the Leadership newspaper this morning. The Leadership has, of course, the former president face, the entire front page is the president's, the former president who has passed away. Is a picture of him, and I like that. It's just telling you, I conquer. It was almost like I win. I may have bowed out of here, but I am born somewhere else. Here it says, succession battle begins. As Buhari is laid to rest in Daura today, federal government declares holidays. What do you think it means when they say succession? What succession? Leader of the North? Could that be it?
Filling up the spaces, basically.
What space was the former president filling?
He was a leader. He was a major leader from the North.
Right.
A rallying point as well.
That's true.
So having life itself does not abhor space to.
Absolutely.
It needs to continue. So of course there should be some sort of.
And the leadership has here the vice president's face. It says Shetima Atiku, Kwankwaso, El-Rufai, and Al-Makura are contenders for who would become the for this succession, this battle, according to them, whatever that means, because it is not some political or structured leadership role or leadership.
True.
So when they say contenders, I wonder what would make anyone emerge. What would work to anyone's benefit of becoming this leader?
Give it to the former president. It was a rallying point for the North.
Absolutely.
He had a court followership during his days in CPC before he moved into APC and the likes. I do expect that to happen, given that we are gearing up for 2027 elections. And so probably as a point of advantage, there might be need for someone to step into his shoe, though large, but of course, life goes on.
But when you say step into his shoes, what do they have to do?
He was a former president.
Okay.
And not just a former president, two-time
president, head of state and president. Well above the masthead of the leadership newspaper here, it says, more tributes for Buhari as Oba Adetona is buried. We lost two major figures on Sunday, as coincidentally they are friends as well. I was in the same hospital with Buhari. Abdul Salami is said. That is the riders to that lead there. Buhari was a patriot. Boss Mustafa, Osibanjo, Dangote, Abiodun, others bid Awujale farewell as remains laid to rest in Ijebu-Ode. And that's it for the leadership newspaper this morning. For more details to that, go get yourself a copy and get into what is going on beyond the headlines. But we're moving on now to the other stories here. The Business Day newspaper is next. The Business Day has Nigeria's dairy deficit opens 2.3 trillion opportunity, and I'm happy I'm talking to someone in that space right there. There's so much opportunities inherent in Nigeria, and we're talking dairy products, which has largely been import rather. That's the word I'm trying to remember. We import constantly dairy, and we have the potentials here.
True.
We have the cows. I had a conversation some time ago with someone. It was World Milk Day or Dairy Day, I can't remember, but we had that conversation, and the person said one of the reasons is the uncertainty when you talk about our cows. First of all, when cows are subjected to that much movement, it reduces the quality of everything, the meat, the skin, the dairy product you get from them and all that. But why have the private sector not come in spite of it all to say, you know what, I don't want government regulation, I'm going to buy land. We have the money. We see ourselves do that in other sectors. Let's buy land, let's get cows, let's put them there and start a dairy production. Okay,
so first of all, a lot of Nigeria has been faced with myriads of problems, ranging from the impact of inflation to business, cost of doing business. The ease of doing business basically has dissipated much on the economy itself. So you find people shy away from doing these businesses because by the time they get to that point where production happens, after the high costs of getting it to that point, when you now compare it to the international markets where imports are done, there might be preference to other products because at that point of the final price when it hits the consumer, that imported products might be a lot easier to buy and all that. So there are a whole lot of factors, policies affecting.
But bid this 2.3 trillion now.
Yeah, so that's the opportunity right there. So it means that there is need for us to harness every point, and when I mean every point, every value chain in agricultural sector that could help in dairy productions, and most importantly, sort of tweak consumer preference to Nigerian-made products, where was so patronized, and increase our earning potentials, basically.
But when you talk to Nigerians about, you think local as to patronage, they tell you about the standard issues. You saw the video that went viral some time ago. Several videos really of beverages, alcoholic beverages, fizzy drinks and all that, that were being produced in the most unhygienic. You could see the germs with your eyes, literally. That's how bad it was. And some of us said we don't have the regulation that would ensure we're not exposed to this kind of...
No, I totally see it from a different angle. I think we spend more time focusing on the little than on the larger picture. There are a lot of genuine Nigerians that are doing genuine businesses, pushing their efforts to making the country great. And I can tell you for a fact, a lot of our products done in Nigeria can compete internationally. Yes, regulation, yes, yes, right business environment. And when I talk of right business, the right infrastructure, the right government support to these places, just virtually everything coming to play. But we keep concentrating on those little businesses. Yet it is the impact, the effect of having poor infrastructure that must have led to it. It is the effect of having poor legal systems where people commit these crimes and are not punished. So if we are able to firm up all these angles, there are a lot of Nigerians, and believe you me, Nigeria itself is a large land of opportunity that could also attract FDIs. And when they come into this country, virtually every resource is cheap for them as compared to where they are.
Exactly. Well, we're not going to get into the conversation of FDIs because Nigerians will be like, let us even patronize ourselves first. We have Nigerians, we have Africans going all over the world, in other parts of the country, in other parts of the world rather, to establish businesses they can do back here. And yet we go out there screaming, please send FDIs our way.
So there needs to be a dynamic shift between from the import-dependent nature of Nigerians to productive capacities being done for exports.
Right.
The more they export for the country, the better our position. But the more we keep depending on imports, obviously you see how it is.
There's pressure on our Naira even. Well, we move on now to the Vanguard newspaper this morning. The Vanguard has here as its lead story, Buhari Tinubu sets up 9-man committee burial today. And the writer here says, declares today public holiday. Shetima pays condolence visit to Buhari's family in London. I was with Buhari in same hospital. Abdusalami Abubakar is saying presidency postpones special FEC. That's the National Assembly suspends all legislative activities till July the 22nd. Christian Association of Nigeria, Amechi, Shumoles, Saraki, Marwa, and a lot of others pay tribute. Buhari left indelible imprint on pages of national history. The NSCIA is saying that. And here we have pictures of the family in mourning. Oh, that's really a sad one there. But moving on, we see other stories here. Visa overstay. U.S. threatened Nigeria with deportation, permanent travel ban. And this is coming as we have stiffer restrictions from the UAE. We have stiffer restrictions from several other, the UK as well. It almost seems as if everyone is looking at Nigeria for all the visa infringement and immigration issues right now.
I actually don't think it's isolated to Nigeria alone. I don't think it's a peculiar case alone to Nigeria. I guess most of the countries that were not ready to accept the propositions from the U.S. in terms of deportation of certain immigrants with poor status, most of those were also impacted with these decisions on visa restrictions, reduction of validity stay in their countries and all that. So it simply brings to the fact that government needs to do more, make the country great, make it convenient for people not to be looking outwards. And even when it happens, have that good balance where at all times Nigeria comes first.
Absolutely. Okay. and Nigerians should also try to make the country great.
Yes, by conducting
themselves. Because you travel out there and you want to see that special thing that isn't in Nigeria, and you're like, no, I want to return.
If you see you're going out there as an opportunity of being a good ambassador of your country,
exactly.
I think you need to start from there.
Exactly.
And so it starts from me, and then expands to we, and then everyone.
Like my father always say, if we all sweep the front of our houses, the entire country will be clean.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, why I support ADC's coalition but remain in PDP, Lamido is saying. That story is on page 9 of the Vanguard newspaper. We are seeing a peculiar kind of political... Have you seen this before?
Nigerian politics defies all odds.
I'm telling you.
Our political climate is... it is
really
more
dynamic.
selfish,
and
not structured to the point of principles. So every election season, we
see something new. Everything just goes.
There's nothing that will come up that is new.
Absolutely.
It has happened in the past.
You'll be surprised.
Yeah. So that's our Nigerian way of doing politics.
You'll be surprised. I mean, the 2023 elections brought about that kind of political arena where you could start a G5 movement in the political party, support another political candidate.
And yet you're in another party.
And you're in another party, brazenly, by the way.
But eventually, it's going to have a negative effect. Because lines are eroded.
I mean, who sets the standard for this thing?
Firm lines of principle are eroded.
Who sets the standard for what you refer to as firm standard?
So maybe it's our own way of politics.
Maybe it's the peculiar.
But actually, I'm very optimistic. I look forward to the day where Nigerians will wake up. The large populace of the youths take the country, take the bull by the horn, and probably create the type of politics that brings sort of positive effects to lives and not on the selfish part. Okay,
so having learned from where? Is it these young people I see who are also waiting for their time to have the knife?
Then again, I still say this.
Let's be positive. I'm following your positivity.
The focus on little negatives tends to cloud the real effectual should I put it real people that are trying to drive change.
Okay, I'm happy you are this positive. It's very refreshing really to see people like you who are positive about our country and positive about some change that can happen. And I'm happy you mentioned the youth. Another day I'll bring you here so that we get into that conversation.
Very open to that.
So at this point, we go to the Daily Trust, a Daily Sun newspaper. This Daily Sun is the next paper. All eyes on Daura as Buhari goes home. All eyes on Daura as Buhari goes home. The writer here says, ex-president's body expected at 12 noon. Committal to Mother Earth at 2 p.m. Federal government declares public holiday. Katsina extends work-free day. Shetima visits Aisha Buhari, Mama Daura in London. ADC declares 3-day mourning. Oh, that's very, isn't that very noble and sensitive of them?
He was a leader. So
I mean, in that 3 days, what happens when a political party says we declare no activities?
Probably they have all their plans. But first of all, I'd like to highlight this: the frailty of life.
Absolutely.
Just shows it. Everybody, some mecca of sorts, everybody is rushing to Daura to pay honor to him. But eventually, after those days, there's a seeming quietness over there, and people move on.
Oh, naturally.
So it shows you that even wherever you are, at whatever stage in life you are, that opportunity is there to affect lives, create a living legacy for yourself.
True.
Ensure that even when you go, something good comes out from it. So
yeah, that's true.
We are all here for a short time. That's what I believe. And so we need to maximize the use
absolutely.
Live purposefully, basically.
Absolutely.
So my condolences to the family.
Absolutely.
Just pray life beyond favors him as well.
Yeah. One thing is for sure, everyone knows he had good intentions for the country, you know, and that alone is what endears a lot to him. He had integrity, he had principles, and he had good intentions. Well, we have other stories here. Tougher immigration policy threatens CBN's $1 billion monthly diaspora inflow target. Tougher immigration policies threaten CBN's $1 trillion diaspora inflow. I had a conversation with an economist. I was talking about the consequences of these tough policies on remittances, and well, it's here, right here. It says $1 billion monthly expectation. Our CBN is counting on remittances. How cool is that?
Yeah, it's part of revenue lines. Is expected FDI inflows, and of course from Nigerians in diaspora bringing back funds back home by way of economic inputs, by way of inflow in terms of funds and all that. Remittances.